A local city is responding to accusations that it overcharged home builders for permit fees. The city of Plymouth is one of several cities accused of accumulating excess revenue on home construction projects. According to the report released by the Housing Affordability Institute, there's a wide gap between what cities collect in building fees and what the costs to provide inspection services actually are. The report argues that cities are propping up their general funds with excess fees and in turn making the cost of new homes more expensive. In Plymouth's case, the report says the city collected more than $11 million in excess fee revenue over the last 5 years. The report says only Edina and Woodbury overcharged more. The city of Plymouth responded to the report. It released a statement to CCX News saying the report understates the costs associated with new development, resulting in an incomplete picture. The city's statement says the report also overstates the impact of building permit fees on the affordability of housing. In Plymouth, building permit costs account for less than 1% of the sale price of a newly constructed home. State rules say permit fees should be proportionate to the actual cost of service. Plymouth believes the report placed a disproportionate emphasis on cities with the highest new home valuations. The average new home in Plymouth sells for $600,000, which is significantly more than most new homes in Hennepin County. A Brooklyn Park driver accused of striking an 11-year-old girl getting off a school bus has pleaded not guilty to charges. Gregory Garth is charged with 3 counts of criminal vehicular operation. Blood test results show Garth had alcohol in his system of just under the legal limit. The results also revealed traces of cocaine and THC, the psychoactive component of marijuana. The crash happened last May in North Minneapolis. The girl suffered traumatic injuries to her head. In Brooklyn Park, one person had to be taken to the hospital after an overnight house fire. Crews were dispatched to a home in the 7100 block of Kentucky Avenue North. After initially putting the fire out, it rekindled and crews had to go out a second time early Tuesday morning.
Female and 2 children were inside the home, were able to escape. Had a working smoke detector, which is probably what saved them.
The woman suffered from smoke inhalation and burns. The house is pretty much a total loss. The fire started in a back bedroom and the cause is still under investigation. In January of 1975, an 18-year-old named Tom Nelson began working part-time for the city of Plymouth, flooding hockey rinks. Nelson stayed with the city his entire adult career. And as Delane Cleveland reports, after 4 decades, he's finally calling it quits.
This is our front end loaders that are used for loading dirt in the summertime.
Every major city,
these are our big guns.
Needs a fleet of vehicles to keep things going.
Of course, we got street sweepers. We do all of our own street sweeping now.
Tom Nelson happens to be the man who oversees the maintenance and purchasing of that fleet for the city of Plymouth.
We've got about 500 pieces of equipment that we maintain. Everything from loaders, fire trucks, police vehicles, down to lawnmowers.
But Nelson remembers a time when Plymouth didn't always need that many vehicles.
Street sweepers are a lot of maintenance.
He began working for Plymouth at the age of 18.
In '76 then I worked in the street department operating equipment. At that time Plymouth was roughly 14,000 people. Everything on the other side of Highway 55 was gravel roads.
If Nelson sounds nostalgic,
well, this was me back in the 80s.
It's because he's had some time to reflect on the old days.
I had some hair and I was pretty much on the floor wrenching all the time.
He never expected to stay this long.
But just one year led to the next, into the next, and all of a sudden, here we are.
Over the span of his 4 decades with the city, he's seen Plymouth grow to more than 78,000 people.
It's crazy when you think back to the changes, but at the same time, it's been a great ride.
Now, after 43 years of operating the equipment, repairing that equipment, and then supervising the entire department, August 29th will be his final day on the job.
I've been very fortunate here, and I've been very blessed throughout my life with good health. And so I want to continue to be able to use that and use it, in volunteering, ministry work, lots of various ways.
A well-deserved retirement plan for someone who's given his entire adult life to the department.
I couldn't expect or want any more, from an employer.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Nelson says Plymouth has hired his successor from outside of the city, and that person will begin on September 9th. One of the most common complaints heard by city council members in Brooklyn Park is that there are not enough restaurants. Yet there are more than 100 restaurants in the city. The problem is that many of the restaurants are small and they don't have much of a marketing budget. So the city is launching the first ever restaurant week on September 9th through the 13th to raise awareness of the diversity of Brooklyn Park restaurants. The city will spotlight different venues and have contests to win gift cards to those local restaurants. It is back to school season already, and Tuesday Robbinsdale schools held their annual district opener. Cheerleaders and a drum corps welcomed new teachers to the district, and veterans and rookies alike gave a standing ovation when the surprise keynote speaker was introduced. First Lady Gwen Walls, herself a former teacher, spoke about the importance of inclusivity and service to others.
Really, my goal was to connect on a very human level, for them to see who I am, maybe who the governor is, and to understand that we're in this together and with them, and that we all have a part to play, and that theirs is an important part.
The first day of school is on September 3rd. At the Minnesota State Fair, they planted a seed and soon it became a work of art. You are looking at the crop art exhibit, which features multiple winners from right here in the northwest suburbs. You also see just a few scarecrows as well. He can feel the fire that lights up his desire is still.
After a loss at the Breakdown Side-Out Classic on Saturday, the Maple Grove volleyball team looked to bounce back on Monday as they hosted Buffalo. Maple Grove's on the right. Skylar Gray finds an open spot for a kill as the Crimson win the first set 25-17. They pull away in the second. Kara Sear hammers it as Maple Grove gets the sweep over Buffalo. The Wayzata volleyball team is ranked third in the state in Class 3A to start the season, and the Trojans are excited about the recognition, more excited to get this season started. All of the Trojans' top hitters are back, led by seniors Elizabeth Helmick and Lily Emlog and junior Sophie Jesuits. And setter Olivia Johnson also returns in 2019. At Libero, there's a battle at the starting job between junior Avery Sees and sophomore Ella Vogel. Wayzata is definitely a very talented squad with a ton of varsity experience. And the ups and downs these girls have gone through on the court and the lessons they've learned could lead to a special season.
We've all grown up playing volleyball together and throughout the program, and it's just so exciting that this amazing opportunity is in front of us, and we just get to use our full forces going towards it.
We've all had a ton of varsity experience, and I think that's really going to benefit us towards the end of the season, especially when we get in those high pressure situations, because we'll be able to use our experience and really thrive on it.
The senior class is a strong class, and they've done very well here in their time. Kind of been thrown out there, a lot of them as sophomores, and played a great deal as sophomores, and we took some lumps, but they had a really positive mindset as that was going on, that we're going to get better, we're going to keep fighting for it. This year we'll just see what happens. It should be a lot of fun to see how far they can take this.
Wayzata beat defending state champion Champlin Park in a 5-set thriller as part of the Breakdown Side-Out Classic. After playing at Chaska Tuesday night, the Trojans are at Maple Grove Thursday. Benilde-St. Margaret's football had some ups and downs in 2018 before a strong playoff run that nearly ended with an upset win over SMB. Here's Jay Wilcox with today's Prep Football Training Camp report.
There's no doubt having a lot of varsity experience will help the Red Knights this fall.
It helps a lot because we get to know each other's tendencies and what each other likes to do, and who each other is as a person more than just a football player. So we really learn a lot about the other person, and that bond carries over on the field.
We had a lot of workouts during the summer, so it makes us going smoothly into the season. Everyone already knows the play, so we can jump right into more complicated stuff.
The offense pretty much returns intact for BSM, while the defense has to replace two key performers but has plenty of veterans. Quarterback Nick Peterson, running back linebacker Joe Marinero, two-way lineman Elijah Brown, linebacker tight end Charlie Dieterding, and running back linebacker William Petty are Red Knights to watch. For years, Benilde wasn't an especially strong football program, but that's changed in a big way in recent seasons.
Obviously, like Benilde football, like 20 years ago was pretty bad, but like now, every year we're expected to compete with the top teams in the state. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
We have a lot of numbers this year, which is really great for our program because we usually don't have the numbers. So we're 1, 2, maybe even 3 deep at positions, which is kind of neat. We haven't had that in a long time. When we started here back in 93, 94, 95, we were so god-awful that you know, the progress has been really neat to watch and see, and how we've developed the program and how the kids have bought into what we do.
And knowing they can and should compete for a title is a good thing for the 2019 Red Knights.
It's a real fun thing because you know you're coming out here to work for something every day, and it doesn't feel empty. It feels like a purpose and passionate.
A tough schedule awaits, but Benilde is ready. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
No receivers, no receivers, no receivers.
Here's the rundown on Benilde-St. Margaret's. They were 7-4 last season. 17 starters are back. You can see Benilde's opener Friday against Orono live on CCX1 and CCXmedia.org.